If you've ever seen any of my music-related posts, you might have noticed my taste tends to skew towards older bands, 70s in particular. However, I do listen to some newer groups, so I wanted to share some. Firstly, my definition of modern for this is that their success primarily came after the turn of the millennium, and they've had at least one new album in the last decade. This also isn't a top 5, just groups that came to mind when I decided to do this subject. Let's get started. Number 1, Gorillaz. I've talked about Gorillaz a little bit in the past, and they are honestly one of my all-time favorites. Their music is tough to define, but I can say they are truly a modern group. They mix many genres from hip-hop to reggae to rock, but the thing that makes them most modern is the concept. They are a virtual band, consisting of animated characters, which allows them to adapt styles and identities seamlessly. Behind the animated characters are singer-songwriter Damon Albarn of the band Blur and cartoonist Jamie Hewlett, famous for Tank Girl. My favorite album by them is their second one, Demon Days. That album holds the songs Dirty Harry, Dare, Kids with Guns, and my personal favorite, Feel Good Inc. With that said though, I enjoy each of their albums, as well as other singles they've released. Number 2, Chromio. I did this group a disservice when I forgot to place them in my post about the top 10 Canadian musical acts. They should have been all the way up in 4th. This is a disco pop techno group, which, if that sounds weird, it kind of is. This duo brings the funk by using a lot of synths and even a talkbox. Again, I've enjoyed each of their albums, but the one I would say is my favorite would be their 2014 album White Women, which has their massive hit Jealous, the funky Over Your Shoulder, and my favorite Old 45s. Number 3, Ninja Sex Party. This duo actually has some similarities in their sound to Chromio, being a throwback to 80s pop groups, but by throwback, I mean parody. They make hilarious songs much like other comedy groups such as The Lonely Island, Tenacious D, or Steel Panther, except their focus is on a funky 80s sound. They have, however, ventured into some other genres such as metal in the song Cookies and progressive rock in the song 6969, a parody/homage to Rush's 2112. The band does have some serious talent, however, and have showcased it on 3 cover albums, and the singer also did an acoustic cover album. Of their original albums, though, my favorite would likely be Strawberries and Cream, with the songs The Sacred Chalice Part 1, The Ultimate Sandwich, and Rhinoceratops vs. Super Puma. I will say, though, I view each of their albums nearly equally. They are another favorite of mine, and I even have a poster of them and a signed copy of one of their albums. Number 4, Queens of the Stone Age. This is another band I spoke a little bit about in a past post. I first brought them up in the 10 influential albums post, where I discussed their album Songs for the Deaf. So of course that is my favorite of their albums. However, this hard rock and desert rock band has had many great albums. One album that I personally feel gets overlooked is Lullabies to Paralyze, which had great songs like Little Sister and Burn the Witch, as well as a song that I listened to every day for a while in high school, In My Head, which, like the song implies, was stuck in my head. Number 5, Foster the People. This band is a little different from the rest, as all the others I enjoy all their albums, whereas with Foster the People it's mostly just their debut, Torches. But what a great album Torches is. Not a single bad song, and actually I would go so far as to say each song is great. Of course the big hit is Pumped Up Kicks, but each of the other songs is just as good, with bangers like Hell in a Beat, Don't Stop, Houdini, and I Would Do Anything for You. Their other albums have been okay, but it would be tough to live up to that amazing debut. These are just 5 bands, but of course there are plenty more. I might even do another post like this in the future to cover more modern bands I enjoy, or maybe even one specifically for solo artists. I hope this gave some insight into some of the modern music I enjoy.